Well, I want to talk a little bit about me. I'm not going to get my name or my social security number, my credit card information, that kind of stuff. And this guy here, he's like really chill. He's like my dog. My cat is like my dog. I swear to God. He's like, you don't cuddle up next to you like cats do, but he kind of like stands guard. He follows me around like a dog. So, anyway. um, but anyway, I got a really, a little bit. I'm nobody though, but I got a little bit of an interesting background in some ways. Like I'm part Italian or whatever, but one thing that's interesting is I could state a lot of different things that have been around and people I know, so I'm not too worried about a lot of shit, so I'll open my mouth. That's one thing. A little bit of family history, supposedly, somehow related to Robert Vesco, back in the 70s. If you look back, he was like one of the big fugitives from justice back then. My uncle was a CPA up in New York, Manhattan, the Chrysler Building, had offices out there. Used to talk about him and stuff like that. But on the Italian side, actually, there's it's kind of a stupid. I'm not going to say the name because it's hardly, there's not too many people with his name, but it's actually taken from an English name. The guy was actually illegitimate son of one of dukes in England, in the UK, and it kind of gives you a little bit of an introduction point. But I could state this though: there's some people that I know, like in New Jersey, that are connected with, they're family, that are connected with, a very large, powerful Jewish family in New York City, in New Jersey area, that, I really ain't worried about shit, to tell you the truth. I mean, it depends on who you piss off. You piss off the wrong people, your problem, then you got to worry about shit. But otherwise, I ain't worried about nothing, interesting too, like, going to Catholic school, I grew up going to school with Tony Provenzano's daughter, Tony Pro, Josephine, and went to school over there in New Jersey. And, at the time he was head of the Teamsters and he got in trouble and stuff. The Jimmy Hoffa stuff was around back then. Nobody knew about it. That came out later. But, I could tell you a lot of different stories about a lot of different things. And, I'm not going to actually put my private information on the internet, but really, I don't really give a shit, to tell you the truth. Somebody wants to fuck me over, somebody's going to fuck me over. That's all there is to it. I mean, there's got a lot more shit I've been worried about before, about a lot of crap, so that's the way it is, man. That's the way it is. But I got some interesting calling card things I could say to people if I were, meet them and that they're important enough, and I could say that I know or been around or some kind of family history and that type of stuff. And there ain't too many people that can say this, Now, I mean, stuff with Robert Vesco, I never met him, just heard all the stories and shit. I never met anybody in British royalty or anything either, Now, Robert Vesco wasn't related to that, but a lot of crazy stories I can give out. And, there's a lot more wealth out there than what the politicians have. But I do know one thing. Those kind of people, man, you'd be surprised. I mean, they don't give out shit. They don't give you nothing. It's all going to them. It's like whatever you do for them, whatever they pay you, you got to do way more for them. That's usually the way it works, and that's why they got it. But you'd be surprised. Sometimes the most low-key people, big bucks. And a lot of people can't appreciate what the hell a billion is. Crap. It's a crazy amount of money. 1,000 million, right? I mean, I seen a guy that was not from this country, but he was a dentist. Had a small dental office. A few people working for him. He had $1 billion in cash. $1 billion. Cash. Like in the CDs. So, I think I'm talking shit, but I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, so You know, the problem is these kind of people don't give you nothing, man. They don't give you shit. They're bad news. And, you know, that's the kind of people they are. You know, they'll see somebody starving on the street and they're like, fuck that. So I'll tell you something else, maybe give you a little related story. I heard Bloomberg, I forgot what college he gave to, but he's the first guy that gave like so many dollars, like $1 billion to a college. Man, I know how that fucking shit works. You know, it's always like there's always some way it comes back to you in some other way. You know, it never is like you give. There are strings. And the strings always rotate back into the person's pocket that gave. You know, there's no such things as philanthropists on the top. Usually it's about pushing an agenda, another thing, or pushing an agenda that helps your business interest in some way, one way or another. I mean, you know, you might have a company that does construction for, you know, college, and maybe you give them the money, but hey, you got all the contracts for the construction for the next 10 years, and you're always going to be the top bidder no matter what, and you can, you know, you can get it all back that way, right? I mean, it's just an example. There's all kinds of shit that goes on. So, I don't know, I got a couple references and shit I could pull out of the hat if I ever had to, so I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know? And, you know, just how it is. So, I don't know, I didn't say too much on here, but I guess that's enough to say, you know, a little bit about my background. I mean, I'm nobody, I'm nothing special, but I could pull out some bullshit when I have to, and I do sometimes, you know. So, I also got the kind of attitude I could hang in with those kind of people, though. Because I like it. I like the game. I like the games. I like the shrewd games. You know, it's nothing but numbers, so I don't give a shit. But, hey, you know, it's the way it is. But, you know, I'm not really worried about nothing, to tell you the truth. Not at all.